Yo, how you going, Nick? Oh, where's my camera? Oh, I don't have a camera. Where's my camera? On. There I am. Hi. How's it going, man? What's happening? Oh, yeah, I know. I've been trying to do some D&D stuff, and I've been coding and editing and working, and I've been busy. But yeah, no, I really wanted to have a stream today. Do something different. Actually, hang out. It's been too long. I know, I agree. But yeah, anyway, we're sorry, also listening to outside. Fucking whinging pricks. Anyway. Righto, so I've been doing a little bit of coding and a little bit of work. I've reformatted quite a lot. Mostly the dice rolls. So now the dice roll and like the actual asking to roll a dice, the display and the background sort of mechanics are like intertwined. As well as the animations that actually like run the dice stuff. So, oh, Jesus Christ. Also, my mouse is dying. It keeps double clicking. It's really goddamn annoying. So like right then, I just tried to click on that and it just annoying as fuck. But alright, yeah, so this is what it looks like now. Not that different, I don't think. I think it's pretty similar to what it was. Broke ass bitch. Oh, I need to turn my aircon back on. I didn't. Dumbass. But yeah, this is what it looks like. It didn't work. Why didn't you work? That's not good. What? I have a suspicion of what this might be. What I think's happening here is that when it saves the character... Oh, good man. Yeah, I think what's happening is when it saves the character and I close it and then reopen it, it's giving different or new references to the... Why does it always open this? God damn, go away. It's giving new references to these resources down here where it's trying to load the spells. So if I'm correct in assuming that, then if I try and load it, it's found the character sheets. Oh, Jesus Christ, I wasn't trying to open it. Again, accidental double click. If we look at the game manager, yeah, see, it's not finding the subclass. It has no expertise. It's not finding the features. It's finding the mace and the daggers. I have no idea of what that might be, but... That's really weird. How often does it God damn it, double click. When is it saving the character sheet? Right here. So at the end of the fight, it saves the character sheet. As it should do, because you want to be able to, like, give the character levels and stuff like that. The problem with that... I still haven't turned my aircon on. Hang on, I need to do that. What are you doing, Racky? Whinging little shit. Yeah, it's about 2.5 hours from your feeding time, Mr. Greedy. He hasn't been sitting in his usual spot over here anymore. So this camera's kind of useless. May as well point it up at me. Hang on. Just making sure there's nothing weird over there. Didn't want to, you know, put my massive big dildos on screen. It immediately fell back over, but oh well. Yeah, alright, so it's saving the character sheet. We need to make sure that we never actually modify the character sheet unless it's something we want saved. So I'm going to go up. Where it has the character sheet reference. God damn, 99 plus references. Okay, so all of those are checking level. They're not modifying anything. Checking proficiencies. How am I, actually, double check. What am I doing when I instantiate new ones? Like new copies of a spell or a, Wait, where is it? I went too far down, didn't I? Yeah, okay, features, here. So we're creating a new list of features based on the ones in the character sheet. We're creating a copy of the feature in the character sheet to be used in-game. We're not modifying the character sheet version of it in any way. What does the character sheet look like currently? What the fuck? I see a problem immediately. Instance ID 0. Instance ID 0. Instance ID 0. Instance ID 0. ID 0. ID 0. ID 0. Why are you not saving the ID? Were you not? Before. Jesus Christ, this is so hard to fucking read. So it's losing the subclass object there. A level 1 subclass. Fuck. But it's keeping the class object. It's fine. The class object never gets duplicated. And it's keeping the weapon items too. So name, mace, item ID, that. Features, it's losing. I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know. I don't need to do that. Don't save that. Huh. I wonder why that would do that. What are you loading? Don't load things. I shouldn't be saving the copied objects. That's why this doesn't make sense. But it's only the copied objects that are not being saved correctly. So items and stuff like that are being loaded fine. Huh. Yeah. Items, fine. Spells, nope. Features, nope. Expertise, didn't have any. Proficiencies are just a reference to a list, that's fine. This is the new problem that I wasn't wanting to do today. Why is it every time you open the project, there's a new problem? It's creating a new list of new objects. Am I missing something? Wait, we are creating Are we not creating new items? We are, aren't we? Yeah, we are. We are creating a new weapon. The only idea I have is that, possibly because the items are nested? So, an item has a secondary item class that sits above it that is serializable. But that shouldn't be... I don't see why that would make a difference. It's possible, though. I'm limited in what I can test and what I can change without making the bug worse or changing it. And fucking up the information we have. Alright, fight and it's... Wait, where'd you save? It's in the fight manager, isn't it? Where's the fight manager? There. Oh, I fucked something up here. I don't know what it is or how I've done it, but something is not working. Weird. Weird, strange. Weird, strange, wonderful. Real quick. Oh, that camera goes to there now. Can't do that. Oh, God, that zoomed out. Annoying. I'm curious about what I'm going to do with this. How do I make this work? My only idea to test is to remove this line here, so we don't save the character at the end of the fight, just to check whether or not it's the duplication that's breaking it, or something else. I just don't get it. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, when... Well, that's wrong there. We can take that out. What do you want, Racky boy? My hungry man? Features, spells, and the class one. Hang on, where's the class one? I would... Curious. I don't think I'm duplicating the class one. List of classes. I don't have the class variable in here. Yeah, class object, subclass object. It never actually creates a duplicate. Ah, 1 second. One way we can... No, that's override light. I'm so fucking confused. Alright, I think we changed the end of the fight manager. We remove this line here. Maybe it is the saving that we've somehow fucked up. I don't know. But we're gonna get rid of that. Go back to here. Come on, baby. Come on, baby, baby, come on. Alright, and then we're going to... Yeah, fucking Clarence, eh? Why are you so broken, brother? Why are you so broken? We're going to delete those characters, we're going to press play, we're going to create 2 more. We don't really need 2, but it creates 2 anyway. So we're going to add a new test character. That worked fine. We're going to set class. Beautiful. Everything seems to have worked. If I look at the game manager, beautiful. He has his features. He has his spells. If I look at that spell, is that specifically a copy? This one? No, it's not. It's a real one. That was an accidental double click again. God damn it. Okay. So you're saved. I now go into here, open you. See, all of these IDs are now actual IDs. So we'll run a fight, why not? This no longer automatically saves at the end. Good job, Cleric 1. Finish that. Double check. We're still good on the IDs. Alright, now I'm going to close this. And you, why not? I'm going to reopen the project. I have so few projects on this computer. I've actually been pretty good with just, like, focusing on a project. I say that knowing full well that I sort of just abandoned the Rebuilt to Protect project. Maybe I'll get back to it eventually. Again, scope creep killed that project a little bit. I got too ambitious. That and D&D, I sort of just went through a D&D phase. But alright, so we've got this back open. If we now try and load that. Add test character. Okay, so they're all still there. Beautiful. Make them fight again, why not? Good job. Alright. Cleric is kicking his ass. You can go again. Oh, no, he's gone. Inflict wounds is a really good spell. Burning hands? Oh, he didn't. Yep, okay. Oh, bloody hell. Also, Nick, I don't know if you're still in the background there. It does say I still have one viewer hanging around. I don't know if you can hear me, though. Yesterday was our D&D day, and I was the DM for the first time ever. I had my first go at DMing, actually running the game. It was interesting. I think I did alright. I think I did pretty good. I definitely could have done better in some regards. My main weakness, the main thing that I need to be better at, is setting the scene better. Like, it was something me and Lockie were talking about after the session, was, remembering to describe the D&D setting in D&D mechanics. So instead of saying that you appear in a clearing, in, like, the forest breaks into, like, a bit of a clearing, well, then there's a big tree in the middle of it with a treehouse at the top. You have to be a little bit more specific with D&D mechanics, because they have to understand scale. So you have to say something like, you walk into a clearing that's about 60 feet in diameter. You know, the tree in the middle stands another 60 to 100 feet tall. It's hard to tell from where you're standing. The treehouse at the top, as it begins to come into view, is a single room treehouse that is about 20 feet by 25. You know, describing, maybe not saying so directly in the measurements there, but like, if you're doing it all theater of the mind, the players have to be able to know the space they can move in, the space they can move around in. And that was where I think I did struggle a little bit. That in the start of the campaign, when I just sort of, obviously, because I was a little bit nervous as well, the start of the campaign, the way I did it was, it's a Pokemon campaign, essentially, a Pokemon / monster hunting campaign. It's actually really I actually can't wait to continue doing it. We have 2 tamers on the team, which are like Pokemon hunters. We have a wild magic sorcerer. We have a trapper ranger, which is like, that's like literally Rocket Raccoon. We have Rocket Raccoon on our team. What did Merc go? She's the other tamer. Carl went tamer. Eric's wild magic sorcerer. Oh, Lockie went what is it called? It's like a hunt cleric, cleric of the hunt, or domain of the hunt cleric, which actually sounds insanely fun. But yeah, I'll give you a rundown of the fucking, while we're on the subject, I'll give you a rundown of the little adventure I sent them on. So it was a session 0. We started off mostly creating characters for, you know, a new world, new game. We had to create new characters for it. That went actually a little bit quicker than I expected, and because of CJ the night before, I was on the phone to him and he was like, "Oh, what are we doing tomorrow?" And I explained that because one of the members couldn't make it, we were going to be running my campaign. Sort of, I only found out that day, like not the day of, the day before. But we were running my campaign very last moment, and Siege sort of had the attitude of like, "Oh, I guess we'll just go for a swim in the pool because we won't have much to do." And I was just like, and like in my brain, I was like, "Nah, this motherfucker, I'll show him. I'll fucking." I'll make sure they have something to do. So I stayed up to like 3 in the fucking morning, writing out a little campaign for him to do, and like figuring out even how to do that as a fucking first time DM, which was very interesting. But so the little campaign, or the quest that I sent them on, starts out with the whole team is arriving to Diamond City. They're arriving there because it is the beginning of the Monster League, essentially. It is the start of the monster hunting championship that they will all be entering, that is essentially the Pokemon League. The 8 challenges followed by like a Pokemon League challenge, essentially, to find the Monster Hunter champion, more or less. I haven't actually fully worked all that out yet, but they are all arriving into the city, and sort of, they're about a week early, so, you know, they didn't really have a lot to do, so they're sort of just hanging around the city a little bit, and out of nowhere one day, some random guy just sort of like, and I say guy, a tiny little raccoon man, just sort of like starts hurting them, and just like, they just feel like little raccoon paws on their back, and like he just starts guiding them out of the crowd, and essentially into his house. He sort of like soft kidnaps them. And the campaign starts with them in the house. They're sitting around a coffee table. It's a beautiful house. The walls are like a nice sort of like stained wood. It's very like festively decorated. There's like little colorful wear lights floating around the room. I'm doing way better at explaining this today than I did yesterday, by the way. See, this is practice, good practice. And their host has just sort of, the air smells great because their host has just brought out a nice little freshly baked tray of cookies and sits it on the table in front of them. That is when I asked them all to make a perception check. It's like a DC 5 perception check. And every single person that bothered to make it passed. And I was like, just after he places the cookies on the table, he sort of expects everyone to be looking at the cookies. He grabs a little bag out of his jacket and just goes, "Alright, so is everyone in? Are we all in?" And I'm like, for context, he has said nothing else to you up to this point. These are the first words he has said to anyone in the party. You have been randomly fucking grabbed off the street, essentially. None of you know each other. You've been brought into this incredibly festively decorated house, and have noticed the raccoon host snort something, and then and then ask if you're in for something. So immediately they're all like, okay, what the fuck are we in for? You know, no, actually, they're immediately like, what did you just snort? And he's like, oh, Phoenix dust. It's actually a home brew. And Eric goes, can I have some of that? And he goes, yeah, sure, you can have a bump if you want. And he goes, no, Eric goes, no, I wanted some to sell. And he's like, no, sorry, this is just my personal amount. I don't have enough on me for sale at the moment. Sorry. And then he just like packs it up, puts it back in his thing. Oh, sorry. I forgot to explain the mission that yous are all the quest that I'm here to send yous on, so to speak. You guys are all here for the Monster League, right? Which means yous are probably capable monster hunters to some degree, and they're just like, kinda. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So, I have a treehouse out in the forest, sort of outside of town, where I use it for business. Yeah. Anyway. Last time I was out there, I got attacked by a bunch of monsters that just sort of appeared out of nowhere, and they didn't even seem to care about me. They just started taking all my stuff, and just sort of, the slime monsters that just sort of started rolling around and just absorbing all my shit. I just ran. And he looks at Siege, like CJ, who was playing another Racken, and I'm just like, and he's like, you know what it's like, don't you? Like, referencing, they have a feat called Nimble Escape, where anytime that they're faced with an enemy, they can just run, and it doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. They can just dip the fuck out of there, use their reaction to not take opportunity attacks. So he's like, I just fucking ran. I just got out of there. So, basically, I just need you guys to go out and either pick up the package that I left sitting on the counter, or just try and clear the place out of monsters. Either way I need to go back out there, and there's no way I'm doing it by myself. And then so then they sort of like the players begin to ask questions about like, all right, yeah, shit, what's in it for us? And he's like, not having planned this, and I'm like, yeah, anything you find in the treehouse, you can keep for yourself. It's all yours. I don't really need. I can set it back up again if I have to. I need to be able to get back out there. And they're like, all right, cool. And he's like, are you gonna guide us to this place? And he's like, oh hell no, I'm not going back out into the forest until I know those monsters are dealt with. And he's just like, and then Siege specifically goes, do you have any like special weapons or anything like that you can give us for the job? And he's like, what? No, I don't have weapons. Look at me, I ran. I do drugs. Like, what are you talking about? Fucking, and then pretty much with that, I think that was, again, this is about another point in the story where I was like, I probably could have transitioned better. And then, one thing they ask is like, oh, how are we meant to find it? And I'm like, he draws you like a rough sort of map, like just sort of a hand-drawn map, sort of like, go across the river here. If you see a fucking tree with testicles on it, you've gone too far. Turn right here, and like, basically just like a kid's crayon-drawn map, essentially. And with that, they head off out into the wilderness to go find the treehouse. And this was a point where we were introduced to new game mechanics that were like specific for this campaign and the book that I've been working off, Heliana's Guide to Monster Hunting, which I'm sourcing most of the monsters and the hunts and stuff like that. The tracking. So to actually like track down something there's unique mechanics. So the way I set it up in this one is they had to make 3 minimum tracking checks, and 2 of those tracking checks had to be successful, essentially. So, and when they make a tracking check, it's fully up to them. It's fully up to like what skills they have and how would they interpret it. So, for instance, if it's just like a barbarian, like that's just like fully just strength and not really like, he's like, I pull out my sword and just hack my way through the jungle in the direction I need to go. That would be like a strength survival check, essentially. So you would add your strength modifier. If you're proficient in survival, you would add your proficiency. But like, that's very different to like a wisdom survival check or I don't know what survival is normally. Intelligence, maybe? I don't know. But it's just like a very mixed, like, I know you don't play D&D, but it's a very mixed match of skills. But yeah, anyway, they made their first tracking check, which was a success, which meant that I had to go to the book and go through and find a random encounter for them to actually like have. And like a positive random encounter, sorry. When they succeed, it's positive. When they fail, it's negative. Successfully, they ended up running into a trapped green dragon. A young green dragon that had been trapped in like some sort of dragon trap that again, I didn't do very well. I felt like I was taking too long because it was a random encounter and I hadn't prepared for it. I had to like quickly get all this information out of the book. I didn't read it thoroughly enough. I sort of just read the paragraph and was like, that's enough information. I can start narrating what happens. I was wrong. I didn't do very well at narrating what happens. But the general gist was they had to make 3 checks to they had to make it was a friendly dragon, essentially. Green dragons are famously very smart. It was a green dragon that was very suspicious of them to begin with, and they could try and release it. They would, if they offered to release, or he would ask them to help him, essentially. And he did that. He asked them to help. They were able to make checks to, in some various ways. I can't remember exactly the checks that they had to do, but the first one succeeded. They started getting him out of the... They had to make 3 successful checks. Again, they passed the first one. They passed the second one. They failed the third one. They failed the fourth one. And then they succeeded on the 5th one. It was fucking close. The rules as written, as it said in the book, was if they made 3 failed checks to get him out of the trap, he would believe that they're trying to attack him, because every time they made a check, it would hurt him. Like, they were like, he had spikes through his wings, and like, he was fucked up. Like, he was very much trapped and couldn't move. So, they were very lucky to release him, but they ended up succeeding in releasing the young dragon. Sibyllus, his name was. And immediately everyone was like, syphilis? And I'm just like, I don't fucking know, man. This isn't the name I wrote down. This is the name that's written in the book. But they let him go. He, as a reward for freeing him, he guided them on their way. Or like, as in, gave them directions. And then someone asked him a dumb question, and I was like, yeah, he fucking flies away. He doesn't like you. There was only one member of the party that... He spoke in Draconic the entire time to the lizard folk, Hiskins, on the team. who spoke to him in Draconic, but was the only member of the team that didn't talk shit. Like, he actually was like very reverent of the dragon, because it's like in his character to be reverent of dragons, being a lizard folk. Which was, very fun. So like, the only thing that the dragon ever said that wasn't, besides like growling, was in Draconic to one specific member of the party, the only member that could speak Draconic. So everyone else was, he could speak English, he could speak Common, everyone else was just talking shit, so he just didn't acknowledge them. And then eventually, after being released, he gave them directions towards where they were going, which functionally, so you have to make, remember how I was saying you have to make 3 survival, or you have to make 3 checks, tracking checks? That takes one of those down. So now they only have to make a minimum of 2 survival checks, and they have to succeed on 2 still. Essentially. They just helped out with one of those. But, yeah, and then immediately after he gave them directions, someone said something stupid, and he was meant to, like, promise them a reward that was, promise them a reward from his, like, mother, or something like that he knew his mum wouldn't give a fuck about. But instead of doing that, someone asked a dumb question, and I was like, yeah, he just fucking flies away. And then they yell something after him, and I was like, this is the first time, the only thing he says in Common is he sort of cranes his neck, looks back at you, and goes, fuck you! And then flies away into the distance. So, I've written notes down about that character, just like a random encounter too. I'm gonna make that come back into the story somehow. But anyway, with that, they only had to make 1 more tracking check, and 1 more, which was successful. So that filled the second minimum tracking check and the second successful tracking check. They find the treehouse, essentially. Like I explained before, I didn't do very well at explaining the dimensions of the treehouse and like the opening and where it was and sort of the area around it. Half the party just scurried. No, I made it so that there was no ladder to get up to the thing, which I just thought was going to be fun. Just like it was like a DC 15 investigation check to like find the ladder hidden behind some of the trees somewhere. Like, there was a ladder there, they just had to look for it. Siege immediately just scurries up it, being a raccoon. He has a climb speed, so he just climbs up the thing, immediately goes into the treehouse drug lab, starts looking around. They do eventually find the ladder. They start sort of investigating the clearing, and then in my head as DM, I'm sort of like, I wonder, like, I have monsters that are about to attack them, but I'm like, I kind of wanted them all to go into the treehouse, and then the monsters would appear outside when they came out. But half the party sort of stayed outside, and one member specifically looked around for the monsters that he knew were going to be there, because they were warned of them. So I was like, and on that note, roll initiative. So I was deprived of my surprise round. None of the monsters got a surprise round. They weren't able to sneak up. But, yeah, so the fight ensued. And it was actually a really fucking good fight. So, beyond this point, I nailed it. Even for a first time DM, I was good. I done good. I planned out a 3-wave fight for them. The first one was a grey ooze, which is like a medium ooze creature, came like tumbling out of the forest. They took him out pretty quick. The second one was the second wave was 2 tetrahedrus and a dark mantle, which are like tetrahedrals are like, it's like a gelatinous cube, but it's a dice, more like dice shape, you know, like how tetrahedron, shit like that. Anyway, it was like just a little dice thing that sort of comes out, rolling out of the thing. They're pretty fucking powerful. They have an engulf attack where they just sort of like consume, like wrap themselves around a creature, and it does a shitload of damage, especially to level 1 characters, which was pretty fun. But yeah, so all in all, the characters had a pretty fucking tough fight, you know, like they managed to, a couple of them went down. One of the cleric on the team managed to get them back up a couple of times. He did an untrained medicine check on one of them. Fucking, the fight was pretty tough, and then, like, they got round 1, round 2, and then round 3 was a hex. Fuck, I can. The fucking tetrahedrals and then hexahedrals. Or something like that. The names are so fucking hard to remember. Which was a big beefy boy. He was like a boss essentially for him to fight. He wasn't big. He was actually pretty small. But he was quite tanky. He was a CR3, which is quite strong for level 1 characters to go up against, even a full team. And generally when these monsters use their engulf move, when they like consume a character, it uses it's like they're engulfed one turn, and then at the end of their next turn they take a bunch of poison like acid damage from being engulfed. And level 1 characters only have like 13 health at best, and 2d6 damage, or I think it was 2d6 on some of them, or 1d6 depending on the size of the tetrahedrals or the ooze. That move was like taking them down, like to the point where I was actually like starting to feel bad. There was with the boss, could have been taking legendary actions, which are like extra attacks I could be taking at the end of each of their turns. I didn't. I think I sort of forewent a couple of the mechanics, but it was a good fight. Everyone fucking, it was pretty like resource intensive. Like they went down, like a couple members went down, got back up. Everyone was sort of cycling. One of the abilities of the oozes, especially like the mutated oozes, is that they have the ability to, when they get hit with, say, piercing damage, they start to, like, the ooze begins to, like, harden, and like they become resistant to piercing damage. And then if you hit them with fire damage, if you hit them with piercing again, they're resistant to it. But if you hit them with fire damage, then they have to adapt again. They're like old mate from fucking, what was it, Darwin from X-Men? Where like when he gets hit with something, he adapts to it, but it means he's not adapted. Like, so basically the team had to like keep cycling damage types, and they eventually like figured that out pretty well, which was pretty cool. But no, it was yeah, besides like the actual the more like RP side of it, where like the more role-playing side of it, where like I'm illustrating environments that they're in, I think I did really good. I was actually really proud. I'm really happy with myself and how it all turned out. I keep forgetting that camera's on now. But yeah, no, done good. I was really happy with it, especially for my first go DMing. But yeah, it was about this point that we sort of wound down for the session. But yeah. Oh, and then I really hadn't prepared loot for them, which I'm gonna have to like retroactively prepare loot for them, because as I described, and I sort of missed in that description there, another one of my problems is I missed the order of operations and like when to describe things. When Siege first entered the treehouse, he discovered that it wasn't just it was like a full-on laboratory. Like, this dude clearly manufactures drugs here. Like, there's mushrooms and psychedelics, there's chemicals in vials, and like there's glassware everywhere. So I sort of had to improv I did homebrew one of like the phoenix dust, the essentially cocaine that the raccoon was snorting. I did homebrew that. It did have an effect that I was ready for them to use. But no one ended up actually doing it, surprisingly. They were smart enough to know that there was going to be a downside to it. But, yeah, no, it was good fun. I ended up in the, one of the party members just took, like, a bunch of vials and like, just random assortment of ingredients. Sorry, I'm just remembering, in the fight, Siege goes, I wanna run inside, grab a vial of something, and then throw it at the ooze, hoping to like explode it. And I was like, all right, go on, roll me go inside, grab an object, then make me an attack roll, and I'll be like, just use your dex, no proficiency at being an improvised weapon. And then he rolls, he hit it with a nat 20. He fucking rolls the nat 20 on hitting the monster with the vial. And I was like, you hit it square on. And I was like, alright, so now roll me a d10. I was pretty generous on that. And I was like, if you roll a 10, the vial explodes. If you roll anything else, nothing fucking happens. So he rolls, and he doesn't roll a 10, he rolls 7, so I was like, yeah, like, you picked up you barely looked at the vial, you picked up, it was just like a vial of like a random mushroom, it shatters over the ooze, and then just sort of like a mushroom tumbles out and falls to the floor. It takes 1 bludgeoning damage from the glass. But then after that, inspired by that, hang on, I have this, Billy. But yeah, inspired by that, sorry Raki, no, I'm still talking, buddy. I'm not talking to you. Inspired by Siege's idea, Kyle, who is a tamer, which the way the tamers work is essentially like a Pokemon trainer. So you, as the trainer, you essentially, at the start of battle, unless you've already got your monster out, you essentially release your monster, and you act independently. You're too independent, or you use your bonus action to command the monster, and you essentially have a free action to do whatever you want as your player, as your character. So, god damn it, Raki, you're so annoying. You're not getting fed yet. Yo, wait, I'm trying to tell a story and you're really fucking up my focus. You're really cutting into my brain power. Alright, yeah, inspired by fucking Siege's shenanigans, Kyle decides to command his Dire Bunny, which is his monster, to attack or do whatever it was doing, while he ran inside, used his turn to run back inside, use an action to investigate and actually make a Molotov cocktail. And I was like, alright, with that, I'll let you actually do it. You do create a Molotov cocktail. You find something flammable, you stuff a fucking thing in it, and you light that shit up somehow. And then on his next turn, he came out, and then, without even looking, he just, like, he's in the treehouse. He just runs out, fucking hucks the Molotov cocktail at his feet, at the bottom of the treehouse, fully not realizing that everyone is under the treehouse, is at the foot of the treehouse. So I just home ruled that it's a first level fireball spell essentially. So he ends up doing 7 fire damage to everyone in the party. No one succeeds on the dex save. None of the monsters succeed on the dex save. And he just fucking lights up the fireball at the base of the tree. I'm like, roll a d20. He rolls and it's something random, and I'm like, if that was a nat 1, I would have set the forest on fire. Oh, but fucking hell. It was actually a really good fight, and everyone had fun. Like, at the end of the fight, the Dire Bunny just fully consumed a couple of the monsters. So they had a few monsters that they could harvest, which is another set of new rules based in the Heliana's Hunt thing. But yeah, no, it was good. Everyone seemed to enjoy it. Like, there was definitely, like, first-time DM jitters at the beginning. But, yeah, no, I think everyone had fun. Like, everyone left happy, and no one was like dissuaded from the campaign. So I was able to do well enough to keep the hype for the campaign, which is all I can really ask for. I think I did pretty good. I think I was happy with how I did. I can definitely see room to improve. And I definitely got a little bit of feedback on, like, no one said I was shit. No, like, there was just things that I could do better. And I got a little bit of feedback on that. And I was like, that's cool, that's cool. But yeah. Yeah, no, it was... all in all, I think for a first time DMing experience, I am very happy with how it all turned out. It definitely could have gone a lot fucking worse. I'm sure many people out there that have tried DMing for the first time have done a lot worse. So I was quite happy with how I did. Yeah. Like I said, main weak point being describing new environments and, yeah. But even that, it wasn't that I did horribly bad, it was just that I didn't do well, you know? I just didn't do it very good. But yeah, I'm still talking. It does say 0 current viewers at the moment, so Nick might not even be here. He did say that he was going to lurk, and that story went on for a little bit longer than I was expecting. Shit, I might even clip that and just like turn it into a fucking little video. Why not? Why not? Alright, so, we can get back to this now. See, I did a lot better. I was actually quite happy with even just telling that story then. I did quite well with that. Even still though, you could see that there are parts where I double back on myself too much. I leave bits out and then forget to add them in. I'm gonna feed this cat before he turns himself inside out. I also need to go out and pee real quick. So, I'm gonna do that, and then we're gonna come back, and then we're gonna figure out this goddamn serialization issue. It definitely has something to do with saving at the end of a fight. I'm not sure how, and I'm not sure why. But we're gonna have to figure this shit out, eh? No one can even see your body. Look at him. Being a little turd. Yeah. Give me a minute, mate. Yeah, how messy my van is. It's actually not too bad. You can't see the floor, which is good. Right here. Underneath me, right here. Just bottles. There's just way too many bottles. Ugh. I'm barefoot in my shoes. I don't like it, but I need something to go over the grass. Oh, not the grass, over the gravel. And I don't have bloody thongs anymore. Where are they? I do. They're under there somewhere, covered in bottles. Anyway, back in a minute. Well, feeding the cat. Come on, Buffet. Prime steak. Grain-free. Spoiled little fucker, he eats better than me. Get rid of that. I need to give my fridge a bit of a clean out too. A few leftovers in there that I didn't end up eating. God damn it, now my hands are wet. Hang on, I can't open it with my wet hands. Fine. I can't get it. I'm trying, Raggy. Motherfucker. Yeah. There we go. I got it. God damn. This shit's disgusting, Raggy. I know you like it though. Yeah. There you go. Oh, hang on. There you go. Alright. Back in 2 seconds, gotta pee. Ah. Ah, he's back. Okay, take these bloody shoes off. It's very uncomfy. Alright. How much more coffee do I have? Hang on, I need to... Alright, real quick. Last billy, and then I'll... Just to wash down, just to finish the coffee. And then we'll get back to this serialization bullshit. Bullshit. Alrighty. Okay, so we're good. Alright, where did we get up to? Oh, no, I had to reopen this. Yeah, sorry. God damn. My brain got very distracted while recapping the D&D session. Also, that being my second coffee is really making me need shit. She'll be right. Alright. So it's something in this saving of the character that's breaking this. But... Yeah, because, like, we never directly modify the character sheet. Okay, so let's see what happens. We added the... Not weapon. Fight manager. We added the save line back in. So I want to see what happens. I want to load the character sheet. And then I want to make sure that it's not overwriting the references. So we're going to load the character sheet. Which, if we look in here, spells, and it references these ones. Exactly like you would want them to. So now if I run a test fight, alright. What the fuck? Is it something with the add fight function? Surely not. I'm a diamond gene, live as I die. Never say forever, cause forever's a lie. Sorry. Debug.log sheet saved sheet.name Character sheet. Ah. Oh, we got a good plus. Nailed it. I'm good. Okay, that. At least then we'll know how often it saves. And then I'm gonna... out. Load again. Alright, I'm gonna do what I did last time and just add fight straight off the bat. It worked though. Huh. Does that change? So should I not be... Is he specifically using scriptable objects anyway here? Yes. Huh. So, we might have to store all of these So I might have to store all of these in a separate list somewhere. And then yeah, so instead of referencing the object, we reference a key to that object. Oh, I haven't opened it. I was just looking for the bloody... That made sense in my head, and then I looked at... So items work, because item is a class, and spell is an object. But it should work. I don't see why it doesn't. What corrupts it? Oh shit, I'm actually really not sure. Because the problem wasn't that... wasn't that it didn't load them. The problem was that it somehow saved all of these as 0. Instance ID 0. What are you whinging about now, Raki? Man, I think I might have to inspect that one a little bit more off stream, since it seems to be something that only happens. Maybe it resets on when the computer turns back on or something. I don't fucking know, man. Maybe it's every time the computer turns on, it resets the instance IDs. Maybe. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe what we end up having to do, though, is in the character sheet... Actually, no, class should be really good, because it's doing the same thing as it's the other one. It doesn't... No, it doesn't make sense. It makes even less sense. No! Oh, that's fucked up. The only thing I can think to do is, like, replace anything that the character sheet deals with paths to objects in the hierarchy. So, like, a list of spell paths, a list of item paths, feature paths. And then make it so that when we turn a character sheet into a character, then it loads the respective objects that those paths lead to. That could fix that problem. Okay, I'm just going to leave it for now. I'm going to leave it. Because I can't even get it to re-trigger the problem, which is what I was worried about doing earlier when we first started trying to figure it out. So, either way, we're going to get rid of all of this, all of these, and we're going to continue working on what I wanted to actually work on today, which is dice rolls. So, if we look at the game, if it works, I'm pretty sure it is, but if we watch what happens, you're hitting him, he died. Okay, hang on. One more. He saved. Oh, wait, do you take half damage on catapult on save? See, we need to portray that better. I'm pretty sure catapult is half damage on a save, though. That would make sense. Yeah. But I did include reactions. He should have used that reaction right there, I'm going to be honest. Oh, wrong one. Bloody accidental double clicks is killing me. Don't tell me everything's broken again. Ah. Also, did I just double click that again? No, I didn't. God damn it. Good. I mean, good, but... I need a new mouse. I need to buy a new mouse. Stop one-shotting each other. Six health, Clarence? Really? Jesus. I should still be triggering reactions. One-shotting each other. God damn it. Whoever wins the initiative just wins the fight. We need him to win the initiative and then use his crossbow. Like that? Damn it. Stop using catapult! Apparently quite a good spell though. There we go. Oh. Oh, wrong way. Damn it. Is that taking half damage? Doesn't feel like it's taking half damage. Okay, just real quick. I want to check if Clarence actually is a light. Is the right thing. He is warding flare. You should be using it. Not on catapult moves, though. I think it's just that he's not getting meleeed. Yeah, stop using catapult. I think catapult's just too good. Goddamn artificer. Okay, fine. Hang on. We need Bob. Bob, and he's gonna be just a dude. There we go. Use the reaction properly. See, he doesn't do it on the first turn, though. Come on, we need you to win the initiative. Come on, Bob, you got this. Just one time. Hey, there we go. See? He strikes and it doesn't do it. You can crit with Burning Hands? I thought Burning Hands was a spell save. It is a spell save. How'd he crit before? Yeah, see? Reaction on the second one. He still got you, though. Why is that not working? God, it's one problem after another, isn't it? So when's the first time the pick reaction gets called? Start of the fight manager. So, if we're assuming that this complete turn has not been called on the player yet. Oh, it should work. Because the players get initialized way back here. Yeah, up here. I bet he doesn't have a reaction. I bet ya. Has a reaction equals true happens at turn start. Right there. Don't need the bonus action yet, but we can say this equals true when we initialize the character. That might fix it. I think it just didn't have a reaction. That's my guess. Come on, Phil. You gotta win the initiative. Or survive a hit. Which you have 1 health, so probably not that. Oh, catapult? Oh, wait, I'm using the wrong one. We want Bob. There we go. So now he rolls that one with disadvantage. Okay, and that is what we need to figure out. We need to... It doesn't show any at all whether or not a character is rolling with advantage or disadvantage. So that is what we want to create. And I spent a while last session going through and making new dice effects, which are pretty cool. Well, they're just different, really. But with those, we should be able to... I'll make a new one. This dice roll effect here, which is normally this, or one of these. But we want to make another one that's different again. So I want to delete that. I'm going to add this, and we're going to say, actually no, what are we going to call it? I'm going to call it dice roll just go add ADV. Advantage effect prefab. Alright, and I'm going to add 2 of these to it. I'm gonna unpack those, I think. Yeah, I think we unpack those. There. Alright, so we want 2 dice rolls, one above the other, and then they're going to merge into one another, and the one that it's left with is going to be the one that's used. Essentially. So we need to let these 2 roll. Actually, yeah, you're going to move that like up to here. And then move the other one down to about there. We can ignore the second one. Advantage rolls are always going to be just rolls, so we don't need that. So, yep. I'm not trying to double click. Let me fuck me. Dice roll 1. Dice roll 2. Then the double clicks, man. They're killing me. They're killing me. So you two need to have animators, but I don't think either of you... Yeah. Okay, and then let's have a look at the dice roll effect methods. Okay. Alright. Just having a look at those. So, this one here needs to have another... it needs to be a dice effect as well. I'm actually going to create another one. Where are the scripts? Dice. Instead of dice effect, we're going to say... advantage dice effect. Yeah, that should work. Just thinking about how that would play out. It's fine. Okay. That. I was going to make it inherit from dice effect, but I don't think you even need to do that. That would be pointless. There's nothing really to inherit. It's all just shit. So, advantage dice effect. Peta. Dice 1. Actually, don't even duplicate that. Duplicate the entire thing. Dice 2. Anim 1. Main text 1. Anim 2. Actually... I think we do it even different. We say dice effect 1. Dice 1. And do it that way. Could work. Could work. Okay. Which means... what does that mean? What do we mean? We're going to need a show roll function. Oh, shit. In here. Which is going to take in the roll. We're going to take the... roll and the clip dictionary. Figuring out the length of clips is very weird. And this is the way that I've seemed to figure it out. Actually, we probably don't even need it there. We do need to stop with the double clicking. Roll, D&D utils, you're happy now. We're gonna get rid of that for now. Update rotation is going to be a thing we need to do. Maybe. We'll leave it for a second. That we won't need to do at all. Actually, yeah, no, I think all this is actually... Okay. So, we do need to figure out float wait time. Because that is how long the roll takes. And which is why we need to get the clip distances. Lengths. But we don't have to do it in here because we have 2 of these. So we're going to say, essentially for each of these dice effects, show roll. Show hole. Dice 1 dot show roll. And we'll put in roll, not roll. Makes sense? And then is left side. And we'll just do that for both of them. So that initially, what does that do? It brings up 2 pairs of dice and makes them roll. I'm going to know the wait time for that, so we're going to take in float time A equals, not what I meant to do. What are we doing, Jesus Christ? Come here. I just wanted to copy that. Time B. And return math dot max between time A and time B. So that's how long we have to wait for. And then we don't need the wait time. Oh, Jesus Christ, with the triple click. Okay. So that'll bring up 2 dice that will roll. The next thing that we need to do is to be able to finish the roll. So at the end of the rolls, we need to trigger it so they play an extra animation where they merge together. What does that look like when we code it? Since all of these things are being triggered in the same frame, we need to trigger something else at the end of this animation. Somehow. None of these are waitable. There's probably some tricky shit we can do with, something, I don't know. With animations, is what I was going to say. So where's this happening, actually? Sorry. Dice effect handler. Again. It's the dice manager that's waiting. So we could say in the middle, after it rolls the dice, or shows the dice to begin with, after it enrolls them, we could merge it into the best one. Maybe we could merge it into the add bonuses. I have an idea. What if, in the animator... So I believe this is what we're searching for when we search for an animation. So I think what we could do... Also, just OCD. So I think what we could do is create a second dice roll. Advantage roll bottom. Advantage roll top. And then we could go into another animation that then merges down, merges up. Or we could just actually make a new animation. Actually, I might just create 2 new animations that do that instead. That way, instead of having to do transitions and merges, we'll just have 2 animations that this one runs for this one runs for that one, and then they're beautiful. So, I think what we do is we just go dice, roll dice, duplicate, roll dice, add advantage roll top. Hang on. There we go. Probably keep that there. Range your top, animate up. There we go. Now they're here. So after it does its little wiggle and bounce, we want it to wait a little bit. A little bit longer. And then we want it to merge up. So we want to go from there, probably to about there, 1/3 of a second. I think that is 1/6 of a second. I go a quarter. And then that will get merged up to here. I think it will make it fade out as well. Oh shit. Position. You. And then you can move up. Why did you do this? Oh, I moved the dice roll. Fair enough. That makes sense. You. I just had an idea for the actual result. I'm figuring it out. I'm getting there. The only annoying thing about it is actually... Actually, what I should have done is, hang on, move that. Just to know where to move a thing to. Actually, it probably won't matter. It's fine. It's fine. Alright, well... Jesus Christ, not that. You're done. Now do... the top. I'm actually going to do that the other way around. I'm going to delete the top one. Yes. Duplicate the bottom. Then we just got to move one node. Ah, fuck. Okay. Okay, I think I got it. There we go. No! Top. I think I did it. Oh my god. Animation. So hard. Okay. So there, about a second 15. Sorry. I'm gonna duplicate that again. Roll result. And it is going to have a different version of the dice pulse. Yep, literally dice pulse 1. That'll do. I don't really give a shit about the names anymore. And that'll be there where they merge to. And it'll happen at about a second 15. Thank you for the not clicking. Alright, that. We want to add a property here. Alright. Fuck me, man. Why does it's so goddamn annoying? I made the wrong animation. So we're going to rename this one to... advantage result, and we're going to call this one added bonus. Alright. No, we're going to do that the other way around, sorry. I'm so not used to using the animator, it's just very unwieldy, I find. Maybe I'm just a dickhead, but I don't know. Either way. We do need to encode, replace dice pulse, the original one, with add bonus. Which is good. Okay, and then when we show roll, we're going to copy that and we're going to have a show advantage roll. Which is bool, left side, it needs to know if it's left side, it needs to also know if it's top side. If it's top, then we're going to play advantage roll top. If it's not, then we're going to play advantage roll bottom. Son of a bitch. We should probably store that beforehand. Enum name. Actually, probably clip name. And equals... Son of a bitch. Equals that. And then the clip name is also going to be used to... Jesus, let me click, please, man. Jesus Christ. It is going to be... the thing to do the wait. Alright. So that's the show advantage roll. Then we need another one again. For play advantage roll result. Doesn't care if it's left or top. And it is going to say... ignoring that line... Actually, no, probably just keep that line, fuck it. What was it called again? Advantage result. And we don't want to play the sound for that one. So we're going to go back to this one. Show advantage roll. Needs to know top and bottom. So you are top. You are bottom. Float times C is equal to dice 1, dice 2. It's going to be a dice effect, roll result. Roll result dot show roll result. Show roll result. Is it left side? And then we need to add that down to here. So now it will play all three of those animations all at the same time. And then it will wait for the longest one being the result, which only appears at the end and just does a little boop. Sick. And then for the dice, the result, sorry, we want to say, before we start the animation, we need to know the different rolls. So in roll, we need to split it. Roll 2. So when son of a bitch. Oh, goddamn, I'm getting a dead leg holding up there. Ugh. Lean forward for a minute. I'm going to actually just have a smoke that belly. Smoke it. So the problem now is the advantage roll isn't returning 2 rolls. So I might just make that return a vector 2. Or vector 2 int. So that way we can return 2 rolls. So maybe we just modify roll to... no, I don't want to roll. I don't want to modify it to a vector 2. That's weird. We could additionally store a vector 2 roll alongside of it, where the x-axis is the primary roll, the y-axis is the secondary roll. Oh, Randy's live as well. God damn, he's so much cooler than me, though. I just remembered that my DM Kyle was gonna fucking call me after he finished work, So just going to send him a text saying that I'm live. I might still be live when he finishes. We'll see. He just wants to chat about his character for the new campaign that I'm running, which is interesting. I'm glad that people are excited for it, you know? But okay, let's change that role here, which is going to be... We're going to call it the advantage role, and it is going to be a vector 2 int. That... And then, on the dice roll, if it returns an advantage one, we want to return a vector 2 int. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, no, that works. That works. And you can be the x-axis. Actually, no, I don't want to do it that way. We'll do roll 1, roll 2. And then we'll say vector 2 int roll. Really? Why would you go 2 first? There. There we go. Actually, we'll move that down to here, because I actually sort the highest and the lowest. So I'm going to set that one to the highest, that one to the lowest, so that the x-axis is always the high roll. Yeah, no, I think we just change that. We return roll, and then we don't do this roll unless it has advantage. So over here, if advantage is more than 0, actually no, if advantage doesn't equal 0, meaning it has advantage or disadvantage in some way, else roll equals that, and we don't add the advantage. That makes sense? Else we say... If it doesn't equal 0, we then want to say advantage roll is equal to this rolling with advantage. And then if we were... so we want to set the roll, but we want to set that based on if we had advantage. So if advantage is more than 0, so if it is advantage and not disadvantage, then roll equals advantage roll dot x, else it equals advantage roll dot y. So if it's advantage, then we take the high roll. If it's disadvantage, we take the low roll. And then we calculate the bonuses, and then we set the total also. Beautiful. So then we copy that, and we paste that into the other rolls. This needs to be consolidated. We need to fix this shit. It is... What the fuck's this? Yeah, we'll figure that out later one day. I don't know, man. I don't fucking know, man. So that one... Yeah. No, fucking Jesus. The double clicks. You goddamn double clicks. There it is again, and again. There we go, thank you. Alright, we're done. So, in the dice effect now, we're going to say show advantage roll result, which is going to set, is going to be the same as all of them. Which is main text. Should have just typed it. I should have just fucking typed it. That was main text equals roll dot roll. 2 string. And then it still has the bonus to add after that. Alright, and then so if we're adding bonuses... Okay, yeah, no, I think this does need to inherit from Dice Effects. Override. I did that backwards. Show roll is going to just be that. Get rid of it. Over into here. So we're overriding that. We need to do override. Yeah, we do need to take this. I fully just lost my train of thought. I got so confused there for a second. I'm actually lost now. It's just a change that I wasn't expecting. I'm just figuring out how to do. So it still has 2 dice effects. Which means, actually, we do still want this show advantage roll. This was correct. And then we'll put this back in here. So if I virtual add bonuses, which is essentially just the pulse clip, we can override it in here. And for this roll instead, we want the roll result. to do it. Essentially, all we just say is float, wait time. Yeah, I think that's all I gotta do. I think I might just this one as well. Because the part that finishes the roll is this bit. These two disappear. And it's this bit that appears and is just the final roll. These are purely decorative, essentially. Not that it all isn't decorative. So again, I'm going to override. Fuck off, flyer. Kill you. Oh, I fucking got it, but I missed it. Hey, go away from my drink. It's empty, but still, fuck off. Kill you. Alright. We want just to call finish roll on this, essentially. Why did I do double? That. Finish roll 1. We do want to keep the... Keep this. That there. We just want to... Oh, what did I just do? How did I do that? Come back. Jesus. Ladder destroy on finish to this. Just so that it doesn't accidentally like call it too many times. So we'll just say if it's already destroying its parents, it's going to destroy it. We don't need to do like some sort of... So yeah. So if destroy on finish, then that. So then we can say also here that we don't want to destroy the children. Because we don't need to yet. Well, they'll be killed when their parents are in the house fire. Whereas here, we do want to. Yeah. So destroy by default. We can probably even just do this. Oh, that we do need. Then we don't need it here. Right? No? Oh, we do just to keep it happy. That's right. Alright. Once again, we've done a lot of coding with not a lot of checking. But if that all worked out fine, then I think I just coded it all in one go. It would be better if I did two different dice effects, like advantage dice effect and then straight dice effect. But, oh well. I just leave these empty, I suppose. And the roll result will be this one. Then you... prefab, dice. Go there. We can delete. Okay, and then now when... advantage, roll prefab. When we initially show the dice, we'll say if roll dot advantage doesn't equal 0. Actually, no, that's a dumb way to do that. We'll just say game object. Roll prefab is equal to that. If it equals 0, then just use the dice roll prefab. If it doesn't, then use the advantage prefab. And then use that there instead. Beautiful. Hopefully beautiful. Alright. There's a small chance that works. Hang on, hang on. I'm guessing that I can make internal. Is that what you're mad about? What are you mad at? Trying to serialize variables with the same name. What do you mean? Enym, main text, secondary text, role, clip dictionary. Dice 1, dice 2, roll result. Wait, what? What do you mean? What one? What class? There's no classes that are in... The same field name is serialized multiple times in the class or its parent's class. It said roll at the end there, roll. But that variable name isn't serialized multiple times. It's serialized in the parent and then never again. What? That's just not true. What does it affect them? It's not the fact that it's a dice effect that has other dice effects. Open. And now it's gone. Okay. I think I might actually maybe work. Let's try. Add bonus was not present. Oh. Okay, what if we just dice pulse 1? I'm just gonna call it add bonus. Stop double clicking! Stop double clicking. Nah. There's always something breaking in this goddamn. In the goddamn. Alright, I wonder if that helped it. Maybe if it was using different names. Yeah, that seems to work. Okay. All we need to do is switch back over to Bob so that we can make Bob roll with disadvantage more reliably. He wins. Get disadvantage. Ooh. That was actually pretty clean up until it wasn't. That was actually cool. Alright, yes, you're not meant to have that. Okay, so first problem, it spawned advantage dice on both sides. So, that is because if dice roll is advantage and is rolling equals false. Then we want to use the normal one. Actually, no. No, switch those back around. We want... We want to use the advantage one when we're rolling and we have advantage. Easier. The logic's cleaner. And I think actually right. Correct. Alright, let's fight Bob. So at the very least, now we should have the right ones appear on either side. Okay. Okay, well, Clarence is going to beat up Bob a couple times first. Here we go. Okay. We're close. We're close. Okay, it's not... Okay, well they're doing the wrong ones so far. So for number 1, we need Dice Effect Handler. Apparently we got those mixed up. Actually, no, we keep those the same. Let's switch the animations. Wait a second. Did I just get him back the front? So it should be dice 1 that is the top one. Motherfucker. Dice roll 2 is the top one. Yeah, that's why I've done this wrong. There. We'll say dice roll top. Dice roll power bottom. And then that'll keep it happy, hopefully. I didn't mean to double click on that again, but I just did want to make sure that was, yeah, good. Okay. So that should have rearranged it. That should be going in the right direction now. Now, the other thing that I noticed was timing issues. So let's try that again and see what we got. Well, sorry, Bob, you're gone. And again. Oh. Oh, no, that was good. That was perfect timing. Okay. So then... when we, down here, set actual roll, we need to know a few things. So, so we need to say bool is secondary roll. That's going to be one thing we need. So that we, instead of setting both advantage and disadvantage to the same number. So we need to do that. Which should be... here on the is top. is secondary roll equals true if it's not the top one. This will mean that the top one's always the higher roll and the bottom one's always the lower roll. Instead of it being random either way. Yeah, you know what? I don't want that. So I am gonna switch. I am gonna randomize it a little bit. So, we'll set it to do this first, so that it works. But then I will randomize that, so that it displays either. So now that we know whether or not it's a secondary roll based on if it's the top, when we set the actual roll, actually 2 seconds. We're also gonna have an is advantage roll. Just so I don't have to double check. So down here on the set actual, I'm going to say if it's not an advantage roll, then we're just going to do just fucking let me select it, god damn it. It's so frustrating. The mouse just doesn't do what I want to do. Alright, so if it's not an advantage roll, just do that and return. Done. If it is an advantage roll, we need to say if is secondary roll. If it's secondary roll, then roll dot advantage roll dot x else main text equals y. Okay, so that'll make it so that the high roll's always on the top. Actually, what if we can just change that here on the roll? Not that one. Whoops. Roll. Roll dice. Yeah, I think we just ignore this step. If we ignore that step, go back to roll. It would be cleaner to do it the other way, but I think it's better to go int higher roll equals math.maximum between these two. So if we get advantage, then we get the higher roll. If not, then we get the minimum, which is the lower roll. And I'm going to copy that. Nice. Alright, that's it, right? Yep, attack roll. Yep, okay, cool. So it always knows what the roll is based on the higher or lower. No, this should work. There's no reason this shouldn't work. There's probably some reason it shouldn't work. Well, that's one reason. Oh, jeez, Bob, come on. You gotta stay on your feet, brother. Oh, wait, I think I know what the problem is. The new dice animation. Advantage result. I didn't move this. No, that doesn't need to be there. At all. Now let's try that again. Fuck me. Ugh! Raging! So goddamn frustrating. Okay. Oof, missed. That was beautiful. Oh, it was it. Oh, it was beautiful. Do it again. Here, load up a bunch of fights. It did take the high road there. So you're meant to be getting disadvantage. Yeah, you're meant to be getting disadvantage. I don't know what I hang on. That's gonna be a problem with warding flare. Advantage amount +1. That needs to be a -1. We're giving disadvantage to the enemy. My god, we've been streaming for 3 hours. I didn't mean to do that. There we go. Okay, so that was all it had to do, and it took its disadvantage. Good. Good, 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 good. What a wonderful game. Do it again. Yeah, let's play some sounds. Riveting, isn't it? Let's stop playing sounds. That's actually very annoying. Oh, I'm really happy with that. It's actually really fucking cool. Did you just take the 17 again, you motherfucker? Why is he? How does he got advantage again? Come on, I need you to win. Can I like hack in like a +10 to initiative for this motherfucker? I haven't made a way to do that, but Jesus! It took the low one there. It's the first one I've seen a negative number. What happens when it needs to be the higher number on top? So it's just taking the top number every time, I think. Oh my god, stop making the top number lower! God, I hate testing shit. Clarence, give him a break. Yeah, see, it takes the higher number. It just takes whatever number's on top. Why is it doing that? Figured it. Coding sucks. No one really likes it. Reroll. God, we need to really need to reformat this entire script as well. Again. It's a lot of reused code here, I feel like. Nope. Okay, there we go. Now it knows how to take lower rolls. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. What a good boy. Motherfucker, see that shit? Literally, first go. That was what we wanted to try. It worked. It works. You do have more uses than that, though, I'm pretty sure, Clarence. Of your warding flare. Okay, yeah, no, there we go. So we could also make a little shing for nat 20s. That could be cool. Because we currently don't have that. There's so much we can do. There's so much. There's so much to do. So much doo-doo. That's... Yep. There's a lot of that too, honestly. I mean, I bring plenty to the table. What? I just talk shit. Anyway. Oh, I'm gonna chop up a little bit. Why have I at least put some fights on screen? Well, what was the artificer's name again? It wasn't... Was it Dylan? Phil. I just remember having Bob and Dylan at one point. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I need to have like a second button that's like add 20 fights. I should do that. Man. Isn't this game cool? Well, with that, actually, now that I think about it, sorry. That is actually all I needed to do. I just needed to increase a little bit of feedback, a little bit, but with the effects, mainly to be able to trigger reactions such as the warding flare. So that is actually a step forward for us. We can now continue back onto making cool, or like expanding out the cleric classes and subclasses. So yeah, we actually completed a step. Though I may need to stop streaming and come back later, because I think I might go over and I need to do a few things. I gotta mainly take a shit, honestly, to be honest. To be real honest. But no, I do need to go for a drive in town. I gotta get a drink. I don't have anything to drink tonight. That coffee was the last little bit of chalky milk I had. And the power keeps going off that much lately. My actual bottle of milk went off. It had like 5 days before it was meant to go off. Bastard. Bastard. And of course I found out after pouring water into me coffee, you know. Fucker. Anyway, give me a second. I'm gonna chop this up. Yeah, I'll add some more fights. No one's even here, I don't think. Is everyone getting a -3? Okay, that was -1. Jesus Christ, 34 damage is the most I've seen. Yeah, I almost feel like they're doing too much damage. Like, I know I gave them the ability to upcast, but they should only have first level spells currently. Crazy. Okay, we're gonna let those run out, and then if it's not done, then I'm gonna quickly code in a add 10 fights function. Oh, I love that it's coming together slowly. It is very satisfying to see. Especially when you're seeing it actually work properly. Like, holy shit. It's a lot. Who let me do this? Why would you let me start this project? This was meant to be just like a quick little, like, let chat beat each other up kind of project, and it's turned into give chat all of D&D. Did they just both roll nat 20s on their initiative? That was impressive. I suppose it's only like 1 in 400? What? 20 times 20? I don't know fucking math. I know math. I don't know math. I actually don't know either. Oh no, I'm good at, it's actually the opposite. I'm good at math, but I have no idea any. Well, I watched Breaking Bad, so I have some knowledge, but, you know. That's about the extent of it. Although we do have the ice epidemic in Australia. I don't know if that's the same thing. I don't fucking know. I don't know what most things are. I smoke weed, that's about it. I smoking that weed. Smoking that weed. Oh, smoking that weed. Oh, smoking that weed, da weed, da weed. Da weed, da weed. Da 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 weed. What am I doing? Why do I keep talking? I'm getting tired. I'm not. I just have to fill silence with words, and sometimes I don't think about what those words are or mean. You know, that's it. Just don't have anything good to say, so I just start opening my mouth and see what comes out, you know? It's the way to make yourself laugh, though, I suppose. You know? Jokes are funnier when you haven't, like, fully thought the joke through, and then it's a funny joke, and then you hear it as if from, like, you know, you get to actually, like, process it after the joke's said. It's like, almost like telling yourself a joke. That sounded so insane. Don't worry, I hear myself. With the time delay, that's why my jokes are funny. That doesn't make sense. Again, who's letting me talk? Oh, it finished the fighting, I didn't even realize. God damn. We need to add add 10 fights sort of thing. Because who wants to click 10 times? Ew. Gross. There's also so much optimization we can do in this, in my code. Like, I was just looking at it earlier the other day, like, the idea that, whoops, character, here. The idea that every time we, where is it? Yeah, anytime we pick a reaction, essentially, we're creating a new list of enemy, possible reactions, and adding them all to it. So that, like, list operations like that probably aren't necessary. And, like, each turn, you're not getting new reactions that didn't exist before. So essentially what I should be doing there to optimize it is I should have a list of reactions, and those reactions would have a function attached to them, or actions as well. There's no difference between an action and a reaction in the way that I've coded it, besides when they get triggered. But instead of having a score attached to each action that gets evaluated when I add it to the list, so like I'm adding scored actions together here. which means when I get the action, I'm also getting the score. I should just have a list of all the actions, get that at the start of the thing, and those actions just have a function attached to them that gets me the score. So at any time I can get a new score for any action to basically figure out how good that action is for that moment. And then anytime if I do get a new reaction or a new action, then I can make list modifications. Which would make way more sense. That almost completely removes the list modifications. That means the list of actions and reactions gets initialized at the start of the fight. The only time that changes is if like a spell or a weapon or something gives them a new action, or some sort of effect gives them a new action. Then it gets added in, but like added in or removed. But yeah, like it doesn't need to be. Maybe I'll reformat some shit eventually. Yeah, long story short, we're doing a bunch of list operations that we probably don't need to be doing. We could remove a bunch of them. Which wouldn't really be that hard to code, actually, but I don't wanna. Not right now. Jesus. I'm pretty sure I just smoked a bug. That coughing wasn't because of the smoke. I'm pretty sure that coughing was because something went in my throat. It wasn't lovely. But yeah, alright, well, I think I might have to end stream here because, like I said earlier, I need to go do some stuff. I need to take a shit real bad. Real bad. But yeah. Anywho, I'll be back. I want to have another stream later on tonight, because I want to keep working on this. Either that or I'll just work on it off stream. But with that, we can now continue subclasses. Like this. We're done. I added Warding Flare, which means I can go to here. I can go to the Light Cleric, bonus cantrip. Why is... Hang on. Why are you offset? Why is my mouse offset? What is happening? Please don't dox me on refreshing this page. Okay, thank you. Mostly for not doxing me. That was nice. Okay, you are red, you are green. We did it! That's red just because no light cantrip. Yeah. Woo! We're 2% of the way through. Is that actually... Oh wow, we did actually hit 2%. Sick. Still feel like I had something in my mouth. But anyway, wonderful. Like I said, I'll catch you later. Thank you for watching, and yeah, see ya.